Hey guys, welcome. Welcome aboard. If you are brand new, welcome back. If you're not, and welcome home if that sits perfectly for you. Today, I want to speak about something that needs your awareness. And here's a different way we're going to choose today. I have 3 stones. This stone is from Ireland. How does that feel to you? Does that feel like it has messages regarding your awareness? This stone is from Greece. How does that one feel? Does it have anything to say to you today? This stone is from Oregon. Is that one talking to you? Here's what I want you to do. I want you to stop. I want you to breathe. I want you to allow these pieces of earth to speak to you. And if one of them sparks your intuition, this is that place where your intuition becomes part of this reading. Don't rush it. Don't push it. Don't force it. Just allow. We're going to gather some oracle cards into piles, and then if you have further insight, we can go from there. Okay. So, if you already know, you are free to grab a timestamp down below and move to your reading. As always, I will say to you, please just allow the pile to choose you. There is no need to push or force. Your intuition is the magic of this reading. And everything that is resonant for you is yours. And if it doesn't resonate with you, please leave it here. If it's not for you, that's okay. There might be pieces of messages that belong to you and pieces that don't. Whatever is yours, you will know it. You will recognize it immediately. It will sing to your soul. And if it's not yours, you just leave it here. There's no need to push, right? There's no need. It's okay. I will also add, please remember that these are general readings. They can't and won't apply to everyone. So if you don't find your message here today, that's okay. Choose a different pile. Choose a different, pick a card reading. There are plenty in this channel from which you can choose, or there is literally a YouTube full of pick a card readings. So don't feel like you are bound simply by what is here. And remember, whether you are here on this channel or on any other channel, or actually anywhere in your waking life, right? Remember that your intuition is your guide. Absolutely. And the only place you're going to find your truth is between you and the universe, right? Remove as many of those veils as possible and figure it out. All right, guys, we're almost there. Okay. And a 1. There we go. One more. Whoa, hey. Okay, see? Look at that. We get our message. Hold on. Okay, so so let's talk about this card for a minute, right? This is Eros, right? So this is passionate love. Passionate love. Now, the day that I happen to be recording this, is the day of a Sagittarius full moon. Now, if you are listening to this around the end of May, that is absolutely fine. If you're not, right, you can not concern yourself with the astrology. The key here is that Eros is where our inspiration, right, where we draw in the things that make us excited or want to invest our energy, create motion, right? Because Eros without motion, inspiration without motion becomes obsession and madness, right? And so there's this great concept that the things that make us really excited are things we have to act on. They're calls to action, right? We can't just sit and witness. We have to move. Since we're talking about awarenesses, let's just put that guy here and let him sit there, right? So, at any rate, here are the rest of your piles. So what I'd like you to do is sit with these. Remember, this is pile 1. The stone is from Ireland. This is pile 2. The stone is from Greece. This is pile number 3. The stone is from Oregon. Which one speaks to you? Take your time, and I'll see you in your reading. All right, pile number 1, those of you who chose this stone from Ireland. Yeah, I have never been, but I have gifts from there. All right, let's see what is coming up for your awareness, right? What does the universe need you to be aware of? Okay, you start with a powerful message, right? Accept what is dying. So there's something going on in your life, in your awarenesses, in your situations, in your circumstances, in your relationships, and it's something that's dying, right? This is a request to honor that, right? There are those things in life which come to a natural ending, right? And remember that we are always in motion. And again, this was our message card, right? This Eros card where inspiration has to meet action, right? So if there's something in your life that has stopped being active, right, then this is a call to accept that and really witness it for what it is, right? Oh boy, you get the wall. Obstacles. Okay. So interesting, as we're talking about action, right? Inspiration meeting action. The wall is actually a call to pay attention to these things, to this place where there is no motion, right? If this thing is dormant, if this thing has stopped blossoming, growing, unfurling, bearing fruit, then it's time to pay attention to that, right? You have 56 here. So 5, 6, 6, 5, or 11 would be a validation for you, right? And so paying attention to those places where there is no motion, looking at them, stopping, noticing, and minding what that is, where those places are. Okay, you have Venus in Aquarius, right? Look, you have an 11, right? An 11. Detachment. Okay, so Venus is that card of home, right? Of home as it relates to what you see, what you smell, what you taste, what you sound like. When you have that internal relating to the state of home, right? And so paying attention to those places, right? Stop being invested emotionally, right? Aquarius, is a sign that has the capacity to look from a higher level, to choose the above as the inside of, right? Eros is the inside of, right? This is action and inspiration. This is detachment. This is climbing the wall and standing on the wall and watching what's happening, seeing what's moving and what's not moving, seeing what's growing and what's not growing, seeing what you have tried to tend to no avail, right? And then really creating an awareness of, oh, what is this situation? What is it? Is it something where I simply need to invest more time and energy? Or is it a place where I need to pull up roots and wish it well and surrender to the flow of what comes next, right? Do I need to release it? Well, it might be time, pile number 1. Last but not least, you have the flame. Okay. The flame is an inception energy, especially here. This talks about the places where there's something worth tending and something not, right? So it depends on how you answer the questions of home, of what that feels like, and whether or not it's time, right? You know where there's a flame, and you know where there's not. Your intuition is your most powerful tool. It's a gift, right? And it creates for you your directions, your sense of where you're going and what it is that you need to be doing. And so the question is where the flame has gone out. It feels like the message is pretty clear here. Let's see what the tarot has to say, shall we? Okie dokie then. The Emperor, the King of Cups. Okay, so this speaks to me that you actually already know what is not working for you, right? What's not filling your cup. It feels like you may have spent a lot of time building something, and once it got built, or now that it has been built, the structure may feel unsound. It may feel uninspired, like, ooh, I really wanted that, but it's not working for me, right? It's not working for me now. Temperance asks you to really witness the synthesis of the lesson, right? So perhaps the building and the awareness of what does it feel like now, right? Was this, whatever it is, simply a need to create, right? Inspiration in action, right? I just had to do it. I just had to create this. I just had to have that person. I just had to invest in this way, right? Four of Swords says there's something painful here, and you've probably been brewing on it for quite a while. This is not a new kind of hurt, right? This is actually something that's been going on for maybe even years. But whatever has happened here, there's a lot of detachment on your part, right? You have had to actually heal from the fact that whatever this isn't doing it for you anymore, right? It's not. There is no more inspiration. There is no more action. And it's time to move on from this thing, to create something new for yourself, right? The Six of Wands, right? So the next step is to find new inspiration, and it may be that you found that new inspiration, and it might feel great, right? It might feel absolutely amazing, and all I can say to you, oh boy, it does feel great, doesn't it? Yeah. So what you're doing is processing the release of this because you gave so much of your energy to it, because you invested for so long. Ooh, yeah. It feels like you're leaving something behind that just didn't do it. It just did not do it for you. But in terms of your long-term future, you do not have a choice. Thank you very much. Your awareness is to not look back. Your awareness is that there's nowhere to go but forward. Yeah, there's nowhere to go but forward for you, pile number 1. Tend your flame, right? Everything else is just circumstance. This is a circumstance. This is something external to you, and it's demanding that you walk away from it because you are not inspired there anymore. It doesn't create that sense of home, that sense of contentment, right? There's nothing there to celebrate anymore. And it may be that at some point it felt very much like a celebration, but what's happening now is not, right? It's not even embers anymore. It's ashes, right? There's nothing to fan. There's nothing to create. And so you have to come back to yourself, your flame, your heart, right? Your investment. It has to be in yourself right now. And so I'm not saying that this is an easy message. I'm not saying that this is an easy place to be, but look hard and look deeply at what the universe is showing you right now. Tend very thoroughly to the thing with which you are dealing, right? Because what's being asked of you is going to be ultimately healing, but it might not feel great in the doing. But once it's done, right, you move forward. I want clarity on this 9 of Pentacles and 4 of Wands, right? I'm just going to grab one, because that feels like a future pacing card. Something that is coming for you. Yeah, 9 of Wands. So again, this is something that you've been holding on to for a very, very, very long time. And the reason I love the 9 of Wands right there is because the 9 of Wands is like, but it was great at one time, but I really loved it, but it meant something to me, but it actually set me on fire at one point, right? But and it set me on fire at one point, and it does not anymore. It was a great thing at one point, and it is no longer, right? And so the way that you're going to have to move forward is going to be to put your needs first, to tend your flame, right? To find that place where you're inspired. Detach from what has been, move toward what could be. And what could be is you, right? What could be is you. This is a lot, pile number 1. I wish you nothing but the best. You will find your inspiration, right? But there is a letting go, a surrender that has to happen first. Again, I wish you nothing but the best. Here's the deal. If I were to offer you something, do a little meditation on Ganesha, the breaker of obstacles, right? And see what he has to say to you. I have a feeling that somewhere in there you will find peace. So take care, be blessed. If this is where we part ways, thank you for listening. Please hit like, hit subscribe, and share this with anyone you think might need this message as well. Take care. If I see you in the next message, that's beautiful. If not, be blessed. Hey, pile number 2, welcome. If you chose this pile with this stone from Greece, then these are your messages about your awareness, right? By the way, this is one of my favorite stones I've ever been gifted. I have a tendency when my students or clients go on vacation, they always say, what do you want me to bring you? And I always say, bring me a rock. This came from Marathonus, Greece. It is a piece of raw, unpolished marble. It is absolutely stunning. Anyway. That's just one of my faves. Okay, pile number 2. Let's talk about what is being offered to you as awareness. from the universe right now, okay? Correct your mistakes. Okay, so this card talks about the way we are asked to take responsibility for not just for ourselves, but for our behaviors, for our words, for our actions, for the things that we have done, that we have said, right? So this is the way that we really show up to say, yes, I did that. And, you know, I know that there's a large percentage of the population who tends to be blamers, right? That wasn't my fault. No, he did that. No, he told me, blah, 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 blah. And then there's a small percentage of the population who will stand up and say, yeah, that was my fault. I'm sorry. My apologies. How can I do that better next time, right? So remembering that our overarching message here is about how inspiration meets action. Correcting your mistakes is really looking at your behaviors closely, with scrutiny, right? And showing up in the places where you have, I'm going to say these words, let yourself down by perhaps letting those around you down, or not even, where you just let yourself down, period, right? You also have number 60, the Watchers. Okay, so interesting. So we have an observation message here, right? The Watchers is transpersonal. This actually calls you to take an observer stance, to step up one. This was a similar message in pile number 1, to really look at your behaviors, your actions from this observer perspective, to take your feelings out of a situation and just to witness it as it happened, as it was spoken, as it was as it occurred, and choose to witness your actions from that other perspective, from a different perspective, outside of your own. Like, oh boy, I said that, didn't I? And I didn't mean it, and I see that that was hurtful. Wow, how did I take action there that was hurtful to someone else? Now, the thing is, I don't believe in mistakes, right? I don't think that there is such a thing. I think that there is something that you did, right? Because I don't believe in should. So I only believe in what you did or didn't do. And then you take responsibility for either of those. So there's no need to put a should on it. And so if you're watching, you can only look at what has been, what you did, what happened, and say, oh gosh, I didn't do that well. I didn't respond to that well. I didn't show up to that well. I didn't, I wasn't present in that moment like I wanted to be, like I would have preferred to have been. And so, wow, what is my correction here? How do I want to do it differently next time? Right? From not just your own perspective, because, right, we carry our programming with us and we react until we can witness that we choose to respond, right? So we're always offered the opportunity to correct. And all we're correcting is the way we didn't get it right for our own preference, right? This is how I want to show up in this situation. So next time I'm going to listen better. I'm going to put down my phone and be present in a conversation. I'm going to take off my stupid watch that gets text messages while I'm at lunch with my friends and be there, right? I'm going to offer I'm not going to offer advice. I'm just going to be present with my friend who's hurting, right? All of those things allow you to show up as your own inspired action. Correcting your mistakes only has to do with how you want to show up. It's not how somebody else told you, right? They may say, wow, you did, it really hurt my feelings when I was really trying to explain something to you and you weren't listening. And then you get to choose how you want to act next time, how you want to respond in a situation similar to that. And if it doesn't bother you, that's okay. But if you witness it as a thing that you don't want to carry forth, well, then you have an opportunity right now to put your inspiration into action next time, right? Pisces Moon. empathy. Again, this is beautiful. It goes right with what we're talking about. This is that place where you get to choose. Did I do this to the best of my ability, to the best of my capacity? Because we all know that this Pisces moon is super sensitive to the circumstances around them. They're always watching. They're always observing, right? And they're always taking action in a way that either creates a situation where they lean in or they lean away. Sometimes Pisces moon energy will lean in an overabundantly empathetic, we'll call it empathetic, right, way, and take on the characteristics of what's happening. And so they identify too deeply with what is being offered or shown or experienced. Again, that's a place you can choose to correct. Inspiration in action, right? We can also choose as a Pisces moon energy to lean away, right? Oh, nope, I can't deal with that. That's too much for me. So what I'm going to do is go over here. I'm going to choose a distraction, an addiction, a something else. I'm going to redirect my energy. That might be something you don't want to do anymore as well. So this awareness, right, this up-leveled awareness is what you're being offered right now. Ooh, yeah. You have the Lover. So here's the deal. The Lover is not necessarily an intimate relationship card, right? You are the lover of yourself. You are the lover of everyone that you meet, and how you choose to express that love, whether this is eros, that erotic love, whether it's an intimate relationship, right? It might be, or whether it's just a relationship with your coworker or your sister or your mom. The way that you have been managing in a relationship is being highlighted, spotlighted, right? It's being shown to you in a different way, in a deeper way, right? But here's the deal. You get to watch it. Right? This is almost like karma. Karma coming in to show you something. And so if that's true, like if something happens to you and you realize, oh, wait a minute, I've lived through this before, maybe even on the other side of that karmic story. How did I want things to be different? How did I want someone else to show up for me? How did I want me to show up for me? Right? These are all very real things. And you get to choose. And not only do you get to choose, but you get to choose very consciously what you want to do next time, right? So this is a matter of, let's call it, okay, I see you, future planning. 6 of Wands, victory. Okay, so interestingly enough, 6 of Wands came out in pile number 1 as well. 7 of Pentacles. Okay, so this is about being patient. This is about witnessing your, this is about where you witness your own victory, right? And the way you witness it and how you choose to act within that context, right? Sometimes we want to bring things into perspective in a way that feels like we know what we're talking about. The bottom line is sometimes that's not what we're being asked to do at all. Sometimes we're being asked to witness the totality through the continuum, through a spectrum, right? Witness the whole pendulum swing. And again, you know, we could be talking about this as a very seriously karmic lesson here. Oh yeah, King of Wands. So this, oh boy, look at that. Okay, so here's the deal. With the caveat that this could be any relationship in your life, I believe that this is a love relationship. And I believe that there's something that, a pattern perhaps, that you either are witnessing or that you have created. And I think it's something that you don't like. Now, the question here is, if it's your pattern, if it's your mistake, and I'm going to say that that's what's going on because that's what the cards are talking about right now, you have an opportunity, wow, to recreate. Yes, you do, my friend. You have an opportunity to recreate it in a big, bad way. If you are... Yeah, if you're able to manage yourself. This is an awareness of self-management, right? Oh, and it's going to be a big change, but you're being called to make that change, right? So in these awarenesses, something is going to come at you like a bolt of lightning, an awareness where you go, wow, I didn't realize that was how my behavior was landing. I didn't realize that's how my words were being heard, right? And sometimes we don't. Sometimes we don't realize that the things that we say are triggering our partners or our friends or our family members in a specific way. And so those relationships, yeah. So the thing is, can you detach from your emotional reaction and step into a healthy awareness, right? Without holding on to your past patterns, without insisting that you're correct, right? Without insisting that you're correct. Can you move forward as witnessing the other perspective? Because guess what? Your perspective is just one perspective. Whether or not that's, whether or not that's your intention, the fact of the matter is, in communication, right, especially in intimate relationship communication, it's not about what you say, it's about what the other person hears and how that lands for them. And so if something that you're doing is triggering someone else in a way that doesn't feel good to them, and you want to maintain the relationship, then that's a thing you have the power to relearn. And here's the deal. I'm not suggesting that there's any relationship in the world that you need to change for. You don't. But when we're in a relationship that matters to us, sometimes it's worth noting that there are times when we get to modify our behavior because the relationship is more important than perhaps a thoughtless reaction. There might be, it might be as simple as like a word or phrase that you use, or leaving a dish on the sink that makes your partner feel like you don't love them, or a habit that makes your partner feel like you are not present in their relationship. And so the key here is, do you want to show up as the lover? Do you want to? Whether this is you loving yourself or loving someone else. So you have the power to shift and change that, right? What I want here is clarity on the Tower. At any rate, you have the power. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. You got two. Okay. You got the Ace of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles on the Tower, right? So this is slow and steady progress toward that thing that's going to create love. So you have the power to change that. It might take you a while, but if you draw the person in, and if this is yourself, it's okay too, right? Draw yourself in, or draw the person that you're in relationship in, and explain, wow, you know what? I hear that you've been asking me to say this in a different way, to do this thing, to shift this behavior. And if it's not part of your core behavior, right? If it's literally just a habit, just a behavior, just a speech pattern that you have been unaware of, or, even a communication pattern, there's nothing that you can't relearn. The Knight of Pentacles gives you the power to relearn that. Fairly easily, actually. You're just going to come back to it, right? You're just going to keep coming back to what's important. And eventually, your awareness will override your habit, and love will prevail, right? Whether this is about you, whether it's about someone else. your awareness right now, pile number 2, is that this habit, this state of something in your life that you have become aware of as needing to shift or change is already within your power to do so, right? You may already actually be working on it. This is a validation. This is a confirmation that yes, you can do this. You can do it, right? And the rewards will be amazing. So listen, get busy changing your mind about how available you are to change your whatever it is. Change your thought form. I am not, so I'm gonna give you just a simple mantra. Like if you're okay, let's say it's leaving a dish on the sink. All you have to do is remind yourself, I am a person who cleans my dishes. That's simple, right? That's simple. That's your awareness. That's your shift. And what will happen is the more you tell yourself that, the more you will move toward that reality. Every single time you do it, you reaffirm, I am a person who cleans my dishes. That's simple. It applies to everything. It applies to everything in your life. So listen, grab that perspective and lean in. Don't lean out, right? Because you can do it. Your success is assured, pile number 2. So, yeah. Good luck. Good luck with this. Hit like, hit subscribe, come back and let me know how this goes. And I wish you nothing but the best. If this is where we part, thank you so much for listening. And if you move along with me, I will see you there. Other than that, take care and be blessed. Hey, pile number 3, those of you who chose this beautiful stone from the beaches of Oregon. Yeah, absolutely, right? Okay, so what awareness is the universe bringing forth for you, right? What is the universe needing you to know, to see, to acknowledge? Let's find out. Okay, well, I mean, that is as clear as it could be. Pile number 3, address your addictions. Now, here's a key to when we talk about addictions. Addictions are not simply alcohol, drugs, right? They're not simply visible addictions. First of all, in my practice, I work with clients and tell them that addiction is simply an expression of pain. It's pain that you can see. I have heard a brilliant explanation of addiction, that addiction is believing that you can manage your life yourself, right? That you don't need anything or anyone, that you are capable of managing everything yourself. And sometimes that sense of isolation and aloneness creates a world, a mental or emotional or spiritual world, or physical one, honestly, that we want to remove ourselves from. And again, that is an evidence of pain, right? It's evidence of pain. So an addiction can be drugs and alcohol. It can be shopping. It can be running. It can be working. It can be spending money. It can be gambling. It can be porn. It can be anything, right? It's anything that you choose over engagement in your own life and reality. And since we're talking about inspiration in action here, this is where you deny your own inspiration or your own action. Because most often, if we're in action in our addiction, we cannot be in action in our inspiration, right? They really don't go hand in hand. Let's keep moving. All right. You have Dream Thief, refusal of the call. That is literally exactly what we just said. This is the way and the place in which you look away from the thing the universe is handing to you, right? Where you refuse to engage in the beautiful life that is laid before you, the opportunities you've been given, or the opportunities that you don't even know you have yet, and you may never know, because you're not going to be present in the place or in the way that you could be present in order to find that inspiration or to take that action. right? This is literally the looking away from what the universe wants you to do, and quite often what you want to do, right? Maybe we say, oh, I couldn't do that anyway, right? I'm just not good enough. I'm not talented enough. I'm not skilled enough. I'm not blah, blah, blah enough. Well, the fact of the matter is you are. You just don't believe it, right? And that's why you're stepping out of your inspiration and your action. Let's keep going. The moon in Aquarius. Okay, so Aquarius moon really, see this independence here. There's a difference between independence and isolation, right? Independence, the I got this of I've got this, right, is very different from I got this of throwing up walls and throwing up smoke screens and throwing up resistance, right? So the way that the Aquarius moon energy plays into this message is that this is completely false, right? It's not real, right? There's a very solid awareness of I'm good, right? And part of I'm good implies that you know where and when to reach out a hand and ask for help, right? Because nobody does it on their own. You ask anybody and they will tell you, you can't do it on your own. Every truly successful person has a support network, has people who inspire them, who help them as they move forward. And sometimes what you have to ask for help with is, how do I manage my own resistance? How do I manage my own addictions and distractions, right? Okay. You also have the tear, right? Wow. Pile number 3. So you have the tear here, which is asking you to step in to the backstory, the reason, right? To find your place of origin for this refusal, for the spot of your addictions, right? This is a call to do the work, right? This is a call to tear down your facades and look behind all of those curtains in your life. Those places where we've put up barriers and said, I'm fine. It's all good. I'm okay. I've got this. Don't worry about me, right? The fact of the matter is, we all know the difference between I'm okay and oh no, I'm good, thank you, right? There is an energetic and qualitative difference between the nonsense of facade and the authenticity of reality. And the universe is asking you to step into that awareness, right? Honestly, to call yourself on your own bullshit. And there's nothing wrong with the universe asking you to do that if it's preventing you from showing up as your true and authentic self. Why? Because in order to save everything, y'all, the world needs everybody. Whoa, hello. Okay, so it may feel like you are juggling a lot, certainly, right? Here's the deal. Sometimes when we are talking about the Two of Pentacles, we're talking about that the continuum of any polarity, right? So whatever it is, good or bad, positive or negative, right? There's no actual definition of either of those things. There's only a degree of your perspective. And so sometimes we have to witness, we have to witness where we're in conflict on that spectrum, on that polarity, on that beautiful sense of learning, right? Because here's the deal, good or bad, it's just an opportunity to learn. Is this a preference? Oh, no, that doesn't feel right. Is this a preference? Yeah, that feels great, right? I love the way this makes me feel. I do not prefer the way this makes me feel. And so I'm going to put my energy in here. Swords are all about ideas, right? So it's about the way that you choose to believe a thing And until you believe that you can disbelieve it, you're stuck with the reality, with the place you are on that spectrum. You can't be in a call to action, right, if you're stuck. Action requires and implies movement. And so if you are stuck in a place that is like a gap that's been created by something terrible that happened to you, that's okay, right? There's nothing wrong with that. We all have those places, those times. The universe is saying it is time for you to explore that. If you need help, by gosh, get some help, right? If you need awareness, get some awareness. And the key here is the universe is telling you, you have help available, right? You have plenty of help available to you. Everyone has help available. Wow, Nine of Swords. So there is a depth and an anxiety here, and that's where you're stuck, right? That's where your resistance lies, but it's not permanent, right? You have plenty of opportunity to move forward from this anxiety. You have, in fact, 10 full cups worth of bliss, joy, contentment, satisfaction, right? You have the capacity. You might just not have it in this moment, right? And so learning how to identify the places where you need to do the work is going to be a journey back, right? It's going to be like a Wayback Machine. Where are all of our skeletons, right? Mostly they are inception based in our childhood, in our youth. So all of those ways and places where we're out of sync with what unconditional love looks like or feels like, that's what that is 100% what you're being asked to explore. So it sounds to me, pile number 3, like you have some serious shadow work, some childhood identification, some inner child work. So I'm going to say, if you are at this point, and this is the awareness that's coming in, what you're being asked to do is, first of all, claim the fact that everybody needs therapy, right? It's not, I mean, this is 2024, okay? It's not a bad thing to say, oh boy, I need some therapy. I have these patterns and, you know, they're not really working in my life. They're not creating a joyful, amazing, easy, contented life. In fact, this pattern back here, it sucks and I don't want to keep it up. That coming to the awareness is 99% of the battle. Please understand that. Saying, I don't want to recreate this is 99% of the battle. Find some help. Find some help. You can. I believe in you. Justice. Okay. So, the Justice card is about balance and harmony. So this reminds you that you can do this, right? Perhaps what happened to you in your childhood made you disbelieve in the sense that life can be balanced, can be harmonious. The Six of Swords is here to assure you again that you can find facilitation, right? Six of Swords is how we transition from a place of emotional instability to something that feels better. Again, our ideas become clearer because we're managing them, we're navigating them, and they become something that feels better, right? This 6 is how we kind of create, right, something different, how we come out of transition into something different. Right, that 8 of Swords, you believe you're stuck. Right now, you believe you're stuck, but you're not. Right, you're not. This anxiety is not a thing that you have to carry forever. You simply have to come to the revelation that you need help, that you want help, and that help is available to you. And most importantly, that you can change. And guess what? You can. We all can, right? Nobody that you know who is living a better life, or what appears to be a better life, or who chooses happiness over anxiety or feeling bound, has gotten there by not finding and allowing some kind of work or facilitation. Nobody doesn't need help. Nobody doesn't need therapy, right? It just doesn't exist. Six of Pentacles. Again, this is about, look, you have 3 6s, y'all. 3 6s. Come on, this is beautiful. So this is really about creation. This is about reciprocity. This is about how you choose to be in flow. And since you started with that 2 of Pentacles, let's get back there, right? The things that happened, the place I want to be. You get to move through that, right? You move through the things that happen, that thing that you identify as bad. No, thank you. I don't want that. I don't prefer that. That is not the way I want to continue. And so you move into this, right? You move into, I'm going to make different choices. I'm going to accept my assistance. I'm going to address my addictions. I'm going to say yes to the call. I'm going to learn how to put my inspiration into action. I'm going to address my wounds and sadnesses. And I'm going to stop saying, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. I'm going to pull down that wall of nonsense and step through it into my next phase of healing. Knight of Pentacles. It doesn't matter how long it takes. It doesn't matter what the journey requires. It doesn't matter what the terrain is. I'm committed. I'm committed to the next phase of my life. Yes, please. I want to be inspiration in action. I want to say yes to what comes next. And I'm getting rid of all this other stuff because I don't want that anymore. Pile number 3. I know you don't. I know you don't. And guess what? You've got this. The energy is available to you. The energy is actually just right here. It's here for you. What I love the best is that this Page of Wands is actually bringing you this inspiration in action. It's handing you the inspiration to take the action, right? What I would like is, you know what? I want a clarifier on the Page of Wands. Sure. Yeah, what's coming? What's coming toward you that's going to create this inspiration, that's going to create the switch flip that allows you to say, yeah, nope, I'm moving on from that, right? I'm not doing that anymore. Here we go. Oh, look, the Page of Swords. It's an idea. So because you've had so many swords here, this is beautiful. This is brilliant as a guidance awareness. So what comes in and allows you to circumvent these ideas is a new idea. So pay attention. Pay attention to the things that you're reading, that you're hearing, that you're listening to. This could be a conversation you overhear in a store. It could be a billboard you read. It could be a snippet of something you overhear as you're walking through your office, right? It doesn't matter. But this thing is going to be like, bam, it's going to blindside you, and it's going to flip the switch. It's going to allow you to open a door in a new way. And then what happens is that you're going to be able to eventually close the door on all the nonsense. Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of programming here, pile number 3. Keep an eye on, keep your heart on your inspiration. Let that be your call to action, right? Let that be your acceptance of the call. Let that be the way you say, no, I'm not going to numb out here. I'm not going to become a different person. Because that person, this person who gives into their addictions, is the person who refuses the call, not you. You're not that person. And that's your awareness. Right? You may have identified as the person who was not able to show up, right? But the awareness that that's not you, that's not your story, that's not your reality, unless you keep it up, right? You have the power to say, no, thank you, and move forward in a brand new way, right? Your awareness. Wow, pile number 3, this is so beautiful for you. This is life-changing, right? This is life-changing. Woo! Sorry, it got me a little teary. I urge you to give yourself to this process as the universe is handing it to you right now. This awareness will allow you to become the things and the person that you want to become. So fall in, say yes, right? Understand that all this is just trappings. It's facade. It's nothing that is real. What is real is what you do from here on out, right? You've got this. If you listened this long, thank you. Please hit like, please hit subscribe, and share this with anyone you feel needs this message right now. But don't be attached to what they do with it or don't do with it. I wish you nothing but the best, my beautiful pile number 3s. Yeah. Thanks for being here, and be blessed.